but I'm back now. Sit the back down.
Going. Hey, honey.
Hey, honey. I like my glasses.
Yeah, it's super sunny inside.
Because them haters throwing shade on me. Gotta
Why?
block it out.
No haters have been named.
Do what?
No haters have been named.
If they is, I ain't hearing it.
You mean you ain't seeing it?
Yeah, you're right. Kind of messed that one up. I was going good until I said that. I'm not gonna guide this. You got your mic on?
I don't know, do I?
Yeah.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We started.
Oh.
How about you? Since I talk too much, you said we were going to talk about a couple things per episode, more natural. I like that idea.
Yeah, so I'm not very good in front of the camera and I'm not a good public speaker, so I'm trying to be more free and just relax. So here we go.
Yeah, but you said a way to help that is we come to the table with a couple talking points.
No, but I have a story.
Okay.
So you know how I've been working on getting all the ear infections clean?
Mm-hmm.
And Parker and Rose came with really bad ear infections. So about a week ago, I went to go put in, you know, there's the ointment one that's the thick stuff, but then there's like a wash that's just like a water.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go put in the wash into Parker's ears. And when he went to go shake, it literally sprayed all over my face. I was left, like, hit my mouth. I was like, yeah, it was gross.
It's like,
gross.
I can't remember what I did. Not recently, but that happened to me before. I think I was spraying something. Maybe it was in the doghouse, or I think it was probably like outside. I was washing something off.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I was cutting grass.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran over like a poop pile. And I realized, like, as soon as I hit it, because we don't have the flapper on the mower, as soon as I hit it, I saw brown, like, all over me, and, like, felt it in my face. I was weed eating, not cutting grass. I was weed eating.
Get your story straight.
I knew it was yard work.
Mm-hmm.
But now I remember it was weed eating. And when I hit it, it, like, everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, like, that'll happen when I hit grass. Like, you'll see, like, a couple green, and like you'll see something fling up or like a rock and it hits something specifically, but when I hit the doo-doo pile, I felt it and saw it.
Did you not see the doo-doo pile before you like went to go weed eat?
I did. I mean, I think I was just like going around it, and I thought I might hit it, but I didn't think it would like explode as soon as I hit it. And it was like on my glasses, in my mouth, and it was like a
Oh, that's how I felt with the Parker spray, like the ears, blah, 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 blah. It was so gross.
Yeah. So what topic? You told me like a week or two ago. You were like, oh, I know what I want to talk about when we have.
No clue. I just knew I wanted to tell you my Parker story. I don't know, but we just got done with the Briley's farm and meeting a whole bunch of other rescues. That was pretty cool. What do you think of that?
Thank you, Katie Kirk. You gave me so professional coming
Sorry.
in. What would you think of that?
I don't even know who Katie Kirk is. Sorry.
First world problems. I'm probably not even the right person. Don't matter. No fault. It was stormy.
Oh my gosh! It poured down raining. That was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold. Yeah, I got cold there at the end.
Oh hell yeah! I'm Mexican and I was cold. I thought about going because you had the sweater, and as you were dressing, the weather said it was going to be like 70 something, and I was just like, sweater might be too much. But as I was out there, I was thinking I was about to buy another one of our hoodies.
Yeah.
Because we brought the swag out there. I
was so mad. I knew it was going to rain, and I left our Scarlet Oak Farms rain jacket on the sofa. I didn't even grab it.
I think I like to super prepare And I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they said it was covered, we had never been out there.
Yeah,
So, if maybe we had been out there, I probably would have super prepared like I usually do a little bit more. But I don't know. We were talking about it before I left. And I think I'm torn. I think this is like the story of small business. Like your time is constantly being torn between what's important. What should I do? Do I need to do this? And no matter where you're at, it's that consistency. Like if you constantly are doing something over and over and over again, it's going to pay dividends at some point. Like you don't know the planting seed example. Like all we're doing right now is planting seeds. So if we didn't go out there, if we didn't bring any swag, if we didn't have a shirt, none of those potential seeds would have, whether or not we sold them, because we didn't sell anything.
Yeah.
Whether or not we sold them, it doesn't really matter, because those people own the farm. Come to find out, you don't know who was out there. Humane Society was out there. Small businesses. We exchanged cards, so that was good networking, that type of stuff.
Yeah, to be able to meet them.
What if later on down the road they're like, oh, I remember Scarlet Oak Farms. I'm going to check the website out because she was wearing a hoodie and I want a hoodie.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff, you can't. It's like I think where people mess up with opportunities is thinking no before you act.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like, oh, well, if we don't bring these out, like, why would we bring these out? We haven't sold any. Well, you're already shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, but it was so daggone windy that we couldn't even get our signs to stay up.
Yeah.
We even Velcroed those things to 2x6 pieces of wood.
And sometimes you will get shot down, but I guess it's one of those things. It's like, okay, well, if we didn't bring it, the sun would have been out and all that. And people would have been like, oh man, if you had a hoodie out here. So it's just follow through with the process. And you and I talked about it before when I was helping Magus with one of his pitch competitions. Don't tell them no.
Oh yeah.
Before you show them that you have something to offer. Let them make.
Did you have fun though?
The decision. Yeah, I really did. I wanted you were talking, so I didn't want to just like jump in and powerhouse the conversation. And you know me, ironically, even though we do all this stuff and I talk well, my personality trait is kind of like a diesel engine.
You're
I
weird.
gotta warm up.
You're weird. Like in front of a crowd, you do great. But like the one-on-one, you're like zip tight.
Until you know me though.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I'm the exact opposite. Like put me in front of a camera or put me in front of a crowd and I'm like, ugh. But then have a one-on-one conversation and I'm like, so I really liked meeting Lindsay. She was cool, learning about her business. And then I didn't get her name, but the girl that made the bandanas, that was really cool. Talking to the director of the Humane Society. That was fun though. It was just cold and wet. I
think those will be some good
connections. Sure.
It's not $1 million connection, but definitely good. Small business helps small business, and I think you have to do stuff like that. I think we need to learn, just like we are learning each other in terms of a relationship. I think we need to learn each other in terms of business. You're 100% right. When we go into a scenario, I try to leverage your inquisitive nature.
Yeah.
You love to ask.
I'm curious. I'm naturally curious.
Yeah, but you love to ask questions and you mean it.
What do you mean?
You love to ask questions and you mean it. What do you mean?
What do you mean I mean it? I'm just curious. I want to know. I want to learn more about the person.
For nobody listening out there, I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I'll get lost in conversation.
Yeah, you date
because I'm going through the process of conversation. Hey, how you doing? Oh, and sometimes I'm just doing that by nature. I may not really care how you're doing.
That's mean.
But it's not on purpose. Like I actually could care, but as I'm listening to you, and maybe that's a part of my ADD or ADHD or whatever it is. As you're answering the question, I start drifting by accident. And then I'm like, oh shoot, what did they just say? What question could I follow up with that? And then like, I don't know. I don't do it on purpose.
I
though.
know, but that's rude.
It is on accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I really try, and I try to engage in that. But and I know that you're good at that, so I try to continuously put you in that position, ask a question, and then before I'm even comprehending what they just said, I'm just like, oh damn, that's kind of cool. You're like, what? How many dogs do you have? And I'm like, damn, I wouldn't even thought to ask that question.
Yeah.
And it's a skill. You have that skill. I don't have that skill. If you were pitching to me, or you were talking business, or you were asking financial questions, or what am I missing on my idea? I could answer that all day long because I do that all day long. But conversation, like being inquisitive, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it before. I think guys sometimes are just generally not genuinely inquisitive. Some are. Austin, I think he's a good, genuinely inquisitive person.
Mm-hmm.
But guys by nature, it's just like, oh, hey, I could ask 0 questions about previous friends. And it's like, oh, did you see that new movie come out? And then I come home and you're like, oh, well, how are he and his wife?
Tired?
Man, I'm exhausted. How about you?
Yeah. Time change got me in a loop.
You know how to fix it?
How?
Lenoka coffee.
Instant energy.
Yeah, for real.
Instant caffeine. I mean, I guess kind of.
Technically. I don't, I try to be a connoisseur of everything. And
Of everything?
Yeah, as much as I can, in scale.
Okay.
It's a hard process. Like, I like to drink quality beer.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get quality coffee?
Oh, I'm all about it. I'm all about the artisan coffee.
So what's great, we've traveled. We've been around the world. I have.
I have not. I have definitely not.
We've been to the Midwest, and even then, I like to get quality things. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not balling out of control, but it's nice to, when I can afford it, get what I pay for. Over the last year, we've branched into grinding our own beans.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
highly worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Not only is it, and with this new partnership that we have, even they explained, doesn't matter if it's expensive coffee grounds, just the process of grinding your own coffee and doing it yourself, you would be surprised.
So much better.
Yeah, cheaper than a Keurig.
Yeah.
K-Cup, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Tastes better. It's fresher as soon as you grind it. But what's crazy is it can only get better.
Mm-hmm.
So, glad that our first sponsor on the podcast is going to be Lenoka Coffee. And at some point, we'll have our own exclusive line.
That's dope.
Yeah, working on a flavor. But the win-win there is we're both going to be able to spread our own message and our mission.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to expand out into customers who support us. And
it is so good, too.
Yeah. Well, good. We've noticed a difference even just from sipping it. You're what I would call a super taster.
Yeah.
So you could not only taste the difference, but ironically, it's crazy when you try something and it's almost like, damn, I didn't realize it could get better. Your stomach wasn't hurting, you were saying, which sometimes would periodically happen from having too much caffeine or too much coffee.
Yeah.
You cleaned the whole house in one day, and I said, what did you do different?
Shoot, got that
new coffee.
Yeah,
I was like, well,
got that new coffee.
Keep sipping, girl.
Go.
So we'll be able to spread the customer base that we have, their customer base. We'll be able to see what we're doing if they're animal lovers, and win-win, because if you buy that coffee line, then a percentage of those proceeds will be coming back.
How awesome
to
is
us.
that?
Yeah, so
local company.
Yeah.
To our area, and they're making an exclusive line just for Scarlet Oak Farms.
Yeah, and they ask, do you like coffee? And I said, my feet hit the ground and I touched the coffee button. I mean, I couldn't be a better
Literally,
customer.
You get mad when your cup of coffee is brewed after mine.
Let's not talk about our personal relationship issues. Thanks for signing off.
So, since we have Parker exactly a month now, what have you learned about him? What have you learned about his personality? He's our newest one, so what have you learned about him?
He's not our newest one.
Yes, he is.
He's our newest 2.
Well, we got Rose the day before.
Yeah, don't try to...
I was going to get to Rose.
You're trying to psychology me.
No.
he's tough to figure out. I mean, he's kind of got the Forrest mentality because he's old. I feel like he thinks and acts sometimes like Forrest.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the whole 3 day, 3 week, 3 month thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, we've still kind of only had him, give or take in the 3 week window.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's just now slowly learning, like, you don't have to defend yourself as hard as you do.
Yeah.
You don't have to come in as a stomping ground. To be completely transparent, we've talked about this before. Dogs are dogs. Animals are animals.
Mm-hmm.
And by nature, there's an alpha.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because we don't have the pinning situation, we do have conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't realize is this isn't a dog, no pun intended, it's not a dog eat dog world out there. There's enough room, there's enough love, there's
Mm-hmm.
enough food, there's enough space for all of them to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just have to eventually learn that. And it takes about 3 months. My concern over the next 10 years that we do this is, well, I'm just saying, like, over the next 10 years, so we can learn about it. Mm-hmm. We're going to be doing it longer. But haven't had to go down that route. But, you know, you hear stories of animals not being able to coexist. Mm-hmm. It's just like that one just couldn't change. Mm-hmm. You know, knock on fur, whatever we got here. We haven't had that issue. I don't think we will, because especially hound dogs live and coexist better than most.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to become an issue.
Yeah.
With 10 dogs running out there, we've had periodic conflicts when we don't want them. Not a huge issue, mm-hmm. but I don't want it to become a consistent.
I think Parker is still obviously figuring out his surroundings, trying to figure out where he fits in the hierarchy out there. I think he's definitely food driven. He's so underweight still. I'm still trying to... Do you give him extra food than the rest of them?
I think I give all of them extra food.
Yeah, you be fattening them up.
I don't give him... No, I don't give him
I give him extra food. Try to... I mean, he's still underweight, so... I give him extra food, but you can definitely tell you got to be careful when you're given a raw hide or a bone that's going to take them more than 2 minutes, because Parker eats really fast, so he's then goes scavenging for others. What are your thoughts on Rose? What have you learned about her?
I think hopefully in the next 3 months, when she reaches that period, like we keep talking about, and I think it's going to take us interacting with her more as well. But she's a mix. She's Mabel's personality, but she's not afraid of me.
Very timid. Yeah. Very timid. Backs away. Loud noises. Yeah.
She's timid of everybody. So at least it's not a personal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping she'll come into her own and realize, like, oh, okay, I don't have to be so afraid all the time. Because she's older too.
Yeah.
And I want her to, now that she's on the back 9, I want her to feel comfortable quicker and let her know, like, this is your home. Like, treat it like your home. Get comfortable. You're going to be here for a while.
It's funny you said that, because especially with Rose, it's interesting to see, like, when I take them to the vet for the first time. So they haven't ridden in a so they ride obviously in a vehicle. Oh, light! Welcome to the daylight. Hey.
I see all them haters.
But take them to the vet for the first time, and they get so nervous in the car. They're so nervous at the vet. But then bringing them back, they realize, like, hey, you're taking me back to the same place that I came from.
I'm not just going to another house.
Another place or another kennel or whatever. And especially with Rose, like, seeing her light up when she got back to the doghouse, and she wasn't quite as shy. And now I see her, like, when I go in to feed and clean and hang out with them, like, she will actively come up to me and her tail will start to wag, where before she would just kind of sit in the corner and wait. So
I think that's another changing point for some dogs too.
Yeah.
Is once they've been to the vet and they're in your care and then they come back
to the same place.
That's I think sometimes that's a big transitioning point for them.
Yeah, like
maybe
a hurdle.
Maybe they're not 100% okay with everything yet, but they're like, maybe I'm staying here for a while.
Yeah, maybe I came back here, so this must mean, oh, that's special though.
What?
Just because they recognize, they learn. I feel like they learn, this is my home now.
Yeah.
I'm here forever. That's special.
I think, especially with, I'm just using it as an example, but Marla, when she ran away for like a week.
A week, yeah.
And then when we got her back, that was a switch.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a switch. That wasn't just like a trip to the vet. Oh, maybe I'm going to stay here. That was I'm gone for a week. Here I am locked in a kennel, freezing cold. And their kennels were outside when I went to pick her up because we found her. That was almost like you saved me again.
Mm-hmm.
Like you found me again. You saved me.
And I get to go
I'm
back.
not going. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize, that's one of the things our volunteer asked us the first time is, do we actually walk them on our road? So we've got, our dirt path that leads all the way around in our property. Our volunteer asked us the first time, do we actually take the dogs out on a walk on a leash and stuff? And I had to tell her no. They have so much space that they run around in the fence. But I was like, if these dogs are let go, if somebody accidentally drops the leash, which I've done before.
You're talking about those dogs out here walking on our road.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, at least just walk them out so they get out of the fenced-in area. No, because when they're gone, when they run, they're gone. Like when they realized, when Charlotte realized that I had dropped that leash, she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Marla, she ran to she ran to Grifton, which is a whole town over,
town.
Which is what, 20 miles?
It's not that far.
10 miles?
7 to 10 probably.
Okay.
But that's still
she was gone a week. And I mean, Charlotte, when Charlotte got out, thankfully our neighbor up the road called us, but it was the next day, right? I mean, it was
because it happened
day.
at night. Yeah, and it was the next day.
Yeah, the next night our neighbor called us. And that was just by luck and chance. So, I mean, we just can't, even ourselves who take care of these dogs, daily, we just can't risk it. Because when they gone, they gone.
She gone.
She gone.
Yeah, they really are.
And then Eddie has gotten a wild hair spunk to him lately. You had to lock him in the crate while you were feeding the other night.
Yeah.
I had to lock him in the crate for about 10 minutes and kind of get him to settle down a bit. He just is, I don't know if he's comfortable finding himself, but spunker do, man.
I think he wants to, I think he still has that feral personality.
Yeah, oh yeah,
in
yeah.
him.
Trying to wrangle that sucker.
I don't foresee him, unfortunately, losing that.
No.
That feral spunk. Like I told you, I felt like a cow herder. I had to go like this to bring him in. And thankfully it worked. That was the first time I had to do that. I've never been able to wrangle him.
Mm-hmm.
And because of what happened, and he was going after the other dog during feeding and just being aggressive, which it's sometimes like him, but sometimes it's not. And I was like, I just have to come in here and check everything out. Why are you being crazy? Herded him, got him in. So thankfully, it's a tip for you. That works.
The sweetest thing, so when Gray goes and feeds with me at night, she, there's the 5 that end up eating in the closet with me and her, and then we feed the ones out in the open. And Eddie's always the last one that we feed, and we feed him up on one of those benches.
Yeah.
Well, Gray will stand right there, and Eddie always, if she doesn't stand there, he would always push it and eat, and his bowl would halfway through fall off and food would go everywhere. Okay, well, she saw me one time walk out and hold the bowl so it doesn't move. Now, every night she stands there, and at first I was really skeptical, I didn't know what he would do, but he lets her do it, and she holds it right there for him, and obviously I praise him for, not going after her or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the sweetest thing. She'll hold it until he's done, and then he'll come and hand it to me. So sweet. But I'm trying to think. I've been working on trying to knock out all the vet appointments before the end of the year. We had to do Rose's initial. We've got Parker's initial vet on Monday. But let's see, we had to get a spot on Charlotte checked, right? That was
You wanted the spot on Charlotte check. It goes up, comes down.
yeah, it goes up, comes down.
Yeah.
So that was benign, which was good.
Spot on Charlie.
Oh yeah, Charlie. That I was really afraid. That I kid you not, I thought I was gonna have to go down an emotional roller coaster. I just knew Dr. Morris was gonna tell me, Jordan, it's gonna be cancer, so you're gonna have to make up your mind. But no, she said it was just almost like she was pretty confident it was either a benign cyst or like a mammary tumor, which is what Lainey has because she got spayed so late in life. So we just have to monitor it. But as long as it doesn't bother her, she won't do it. She doesn't need to do surgery or anything.
I heard you. No tears.
Okay.
But I heard you talking today about Scarlet, and I was trying to remember how you said it, talking about. Well, people have asked, and some people see dogs differently.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, not that dogs are just a number to us, but we had never together had a dog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We had never been through anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Not too many people, I'm guessing, have to go through something like that. Obviously, from us going to NC State, there are families that go through that, but we had to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We had to go through that process. But now going through it, I think we have a good perspective on the dog's lifeline, when to do stuff now.
Mm-hmm. When to call at the end.
Yeah, when to call at the end.
Yeah.
And, there's a guy on Instagram that I follow as well. And obviously that he doesn't go through the entire process. He kind of does what we do on a very smaller scale. And I'm sure it's probably not a nonprofit, but he's supported through Instagram followers, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But he kind of hit something to home. And this is really the way I think about it. But where else do you find unconditional love? I mean, it's very, very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, get this out in the public. We love our dogs. We treat our dogs great. Some people don't. But if you didn't, that dog knows no better. Like, if you had spanked the dog or beat the dog or locked the dog outside, a dog forgives and forgets like that. Mm-hmm. It just wants love. Mm-hmm. And it will do anything for it. And because of that, I think having to pull the plug,
it's driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm. Having to pull the plug on an animal gives me so much joy. And let me explain what I mean. It's one of the toughest things that I've ever had to do, that I ever have to do. And I know it's hard knowing that I'm going to have to continue to do this going forward. I don't know if you've mentally thought about that, but I have. Every time a new dog comes in, it's like, at some point, I'm going to have to do this.
Make that decision for them.
But in the back of my head, what's also going through there is I have the pleasure to do that. I have the pleasure to be there with that dog when the time comes. And if our shoe was on the other foot, other paw, wouldn't I want a best friend with me?
Yeah.
Taking care of me, doing everything for me. And like that, thinking like that makes me feel so much pride, so much joy, knowing that because I love these dogs so much, it's like their best friend guiding them into the next world. So it's tough. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I think, I'm sure
Seriously?
when you brought Charlie in, I didn't say anything, but I was thinking, okay, if this were to happen, hopefully she calls me, I'll run up there because I have to be there at the end with those dogs.
I mean, you probably gonna have to do that one by yourself. That's your dog. That's your girl.
Why? Because it would be too hard?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to be there. I have mixed feelings. Did I get it? I don't think
I got it.
Yeah.
That's the behind the scenes, I think, of of any business, but especially that's the business we're in.
Well, I'll be open and honest about like Scarlet. I definitely kept her too long. But
Hindsight's 2020 though.
yeah. But yeah.
It especially that, it's, and don't want you to cry or anything, so we can go on to another subject in a second. But and I think it's important to talk about it because, should we have pulled the plug a little bit sooner? Yeah, but I think what we learned was you're distracted emotionally, and you're also distracted visually by the good days.
Yeah, they played a trick on you.
They really do. And then like
trying to be pregnant during all of it.
Yeah, and then but also trying to remember the goal is quality of life.
Right.
If you were in that situation, and maybe you're like, no, I'm going to fight it till the end. That's good. But at what cost? Scarlet, near the end, she would have, it was like 50-50 good days, bad days.
Yeah.
But even her good days, looking back on it, it wasn't the Scarlet we remember.
No, yeah.
It was her like, oh, she went outside, she went to the bathroom, she laid outside, she loves to lay outside, and she's having such a great time. But you could tell, and you could tell her getting up would be a little bit tough. And then if she came inside, like granted, Birdie does this, so this isn't the greatest example. Just hop on the bed, seclude herself, which she liked to do, but she wouldn't run or jump down or meet people at the door or just. Looking back, the energy wasn't the same.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think when, the second or third time when they were like, all right, well, this might give her 1 or 2 more months. I think that probably, now we realize maybe we should have done something different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we both, you and I, agreed, this is the first time we've done this.
Yeah.
Expensive, yes. Let's try it. Let's figure, how do we know? And even some people would tell us stories. There'd be success stories, bad stories. So it's like, you're just going right now, I think, based off emotion. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
As long as you can, it was tough psychologically to ride emotion with financial burden.
Yeah.
But I think we were both willing to take that risk. As hard as it was, we knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
And we'll fight our way out.
That's right.
Your dad asked me one time, did we start this to fill a void or something like that? And maybe. But
heck yeah, I did.
Yeah, but people do dumb stuff. Not saying that this is dumb.
No.
But people also own boats. People own beach houses. People do.
That was the camera.
Yeah. I'll just finish with this, but I said people own boats, people own beach houses, people own. Chris, I've got my own home gym. Not everybody does it. We all have our thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right to say. Not that was wrong, but I'm just saying I don't think it's dumb for people to have something that they go to, especially if it's making you.
This is
happy.
mine for sure. I mean, where a lot of people need a place to decompress, a workout. You have to work out every day. Like you said, my dad has a boat that he escapes to on the weekends. My mom has a beach house she escapes to on the weekends. Everybody has their escape, and the dogs are certainly mine. That's no joke. That's my happy place. That's where I feel peace. So get it. You're in for it, buddy. We're in this for a long time.
No, I knew that. We've talked about it. I saw the writing on the wall. I was smart enough. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but thankfully I was smart enough and had a little bit of business sense to be like, all right, this ain't gonna stop. How can we ride this out logically?
I'm trying to think of like anything. Trying to think of what we've recently done. Just been so busy.
Also remembering. What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas. Are you kidding?
We just put our Christmas tree up.
Yeah, we did put our Christmas tree up.
For everybody
Yeah.
listening, today is
November
the day
1st.
after Halloween.
Yeah.
We put our Christmas tree up yesterday. But this episode, I jokingly say that for two reasons, because the episode's coming out for the listeners, probably around the 15th.
Oh.
Because I try to do a video every other
Mhm.
week, and then I'll do usually solos in between, as long as there's no tech issues. But so they'll get this around my favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know. I've been going back to the Christmas tree. I've been trying to think of a way. Obviously, I can't put a Christmas tree in the doghouse because it'll be destroyed, and that's just a bad idea. But I've been trying to figure out. I want to put like something Christmassy in there with like their names or something. So then I was like, well, what if I made like stockings with their name?
That's what I was gonna say. What if you did that?
That would be cool, right? Or I found, or I thought about like maybe getting like just dog ornaments and like hanging on like a string on the wall or something so they couldn't tear it down, but at least it would be like festive in there.
I'd say stockings.
Do the
I would just say we need to make sure they stay somehow.
Yeah. I wonder if I could
If
like
they fall, they're gonna tear that stocking up.
well, I wonder if I, like the doors to the closet, like the food pantry and stuff, if I could like drape it and tack it to the corner of each, and it would kind of hang.
Like from the side of each wall, and then like put a hook, almost like a fish hook on the back of the stocking, and just like.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I could do that.
Because if you did it along the door, we got 10 dogs in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be super good. Like,
Yeah.
mentally sounds like a good idea, but implementing it would be like, what? All those stockings in one area.
That's smart.
But if you stretched it, it might.
Or I wonder if I like hung it underneath each one of their pictures. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good idea too. But I was just thinking, segueing that really quick, I was thinking Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
We got Marla on Thanksgiving.
We found Marla, yep, 3 years ago? 4 years ago now?
Jeez.
4 years ago?
Maybe it was 4 years ago.
On Thanksgiving Day, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh man, she was so emaciated.
She found us.
Well, yeah, she was so emaciated.
That was, and maybe, that could possibly be a good picture, especially after this episode.
Mm-hmm.
After this episode goes out, showing, here's another example of like the kind of transformation. Because I might say that's probably one of the biggest transformations we've had.
Who is that? I just had a conversation with somebody on Instagram about this. Who is your proudest transformation so far? Granted, we've only had some of these dogs for 30 days, but like, who are you the most proud of their transformation?
Jeez.
In any sense, like, doesn't have to be physically.
Yeah, no, I'm. That's actually going through my head, not just physically. I mean, Charlie, Roxanne, Mabel, she's out for sure.
She still doesn't even let you touch her.
Duke.
Lady Bird. Forrest.
Bo, Parker, Willie. Oh man, that's
Loaded question.
Yeah. Hold on, let me think again. Bo, Parker, Lainey, JoJo, Rose. Rose is out. Forrest, Willie, Daisy, Eddie. Eddie has a way to go, but he's close. Just because how feral he was.
He wouldn't even come to humans.
When I picked, another story, you remember, I think I told you, and I had a video of it. If we wanted to put that up, we could. When we picked him up, he pooped and peed all over the place. Like, he wouldn't let me come near him, and as I went to go touch him.
I wasn't there, was I? I don't remember.
Picked him up from Pitt County Animal Services. And I went to go grab him and get him. He just all over himself.
Really?
Yeah, thankfully they kind of, it's okay, Eddie, cleaned him up and put him in the car, and he didn't do anything on the way here. But yeah,
I didn't know that.
all over himself.
Because you touched him?
Just because I was getting near him.
Oh,
They said,
gosh.
and they were like, "Oh my gosh, he's not usually like that, but he's so afraid, he's so timid. But when he's in the kennel, he's fine."
Uh-huh.
So, and you kind of could tell that as soon as we let him go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the only one you haven't given a bath out there
Yeah, yeah.
because you can't chain him up.
No.
He just freaks out like a
And
squirrel.
yeah, he was the one day. Sorry to
No,
cut you
you're
off,
fine.
but the one day Susan and I tried to. We were bathing everybody, and we made the mistake of trying to do him like second. He literally was going to choke himself out. He was pulling so hard on the leash that we finally it ended up like scratching and leaving a big red mark on my arm, and I finally had to scoop up his body while Susan unhooked him, and we just said, forget it, forget it. I don't want to try to traumatize him anymore. So we're working on a plan to fix that with our outdoor little shower idea.
Yeah, I'd say close JoJo, because she still sometimes shows her timidness. Ironically, Roxanne and Lady would be in that conversation for me as well, from the dogs that we have. Roxanne, because she seems to me like a quiet leader. She runs the property, and she knows everything about it.
She leads Mabel. That's Mabel's best friend.
She leads Mabel. She leads some of those other dogs too. When her and Lady have gotten into it, she stands her ground.
Yeah, and she's like,
and she'll let you know.
What, 40 pounds compared to Lady's 90 pounds?
So she's kind of come into her own. And Lady Bird, just because when we got her, she wouldn't touch anything but carpet.
That's true. That's true.
Now, granted, she still kind of has her own personalities, some good, some bad. But
stubborn.
Yeah, she protects the house, good or wrong. So, maybe, but I would still probably say, maybe Roxanne, maybe JoJo, because of the combination between physical and kind of mental changes that they've gone through. What would you say?
My proudest one, I think, is Lainey. From her coming in, I seriously thought the person who surrendered to us, we both thought that she was blind in that one eye. There was so much trauma. It was so hazy and just so much discharge coming out of her eye. Her nails were so far overgrown. Her dew claw was all the way around. And she was underweight. She had the big lumps on her belly. There was one that was pussing, open. Her teeth, remember?
That's what I was gonna say.
Mouth.
Yeah, that is tough. That's right, but I don't know. I feel like I know what you're saying. We get to a heated debate about it.
Oh no,
which is fine. But it's crazy that I feel like what had an impact on her was a vet visit. Going to the vet. It was almost night and day.
You mean it was all physical versus the mental, psychological?
Yeah, it's like she was in pain.
Oh yeah.
Once she got all the 9 teeth removed, all that stuff fixed, she went through
blood was pouring from her
Yeah, I mean now she has energy.
Yeah, she's spunky.
Yeah, I mean she went through a huge transformation. It wasn't almost mentally. It was, I'm in so much pain, help me.
I don't feel good. Yeah.
Now that I feel better.
Look at me.
I'm so excited. Yeah. So, but I guess you could kind of count that in. So she's definitely up there.
The other one for me, I mean, JoJo was very underweight, but the other one for me is Charlie. So Charlie found us too, but she was a hardcore nose to the ground hunting dog. That dog ran, once we had to put her collar on, she ran this property for hours.
That was the original
hours
Roxanne,
and hours. Yeah. Coming back, her nose was bloody from just sniffing the high grass so long.
She still gets therapy,
sometimes when she gets a scent. But now she's a lazy house dog. And she doesn't, and the older she's getting, she's losing her hearing, so that's not quite as good. But she just kind of done her thing. She's like, yep, I'm gonna come in, relax. Oh, well, maybe I might want to run some tonight. So I'm going out but,
I feel like she has
to go from like chained up in a little 10x10 kennel thing.
dogs train other dogs.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's got what's left of Scarlet in the house.
Yeah.
Is that why you said that would be hard for you?
No. I just think if I were to hear the first dog that gets diagnosed with cancer,
It's gonna be tough for you.
Yeah.
I get that.
We had to go to Raleigh, a couple months ago, where Scarlett was we didn't go to
Oh God.
the vet, but
I'm laughing, but it's not funny, but I'm just laughing.
No, but I mean, this is how emotional I get.
Yeah.
Is we drove through Raleigh on the highway, and I'm like bawling, crying.
Can I tell the story?
No, because I cry again.
What the heck?
Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm like, oh, this is Raleigh. Look over, and I'm like, oh my God, what the heck? What did we do? Jeez.
I don't like Raleigh anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
too hard.
We spent a lot of time there, and it's not that it's great memories, but it's crazy to think that it's like it became a part of our lifestyle.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
2 years. Mm-hmm.
It was 2 damn years. It was like I built that. You know how I am with routine. I wake up and I'm like, what are we doing today? And same exact thing. It's like, okay, well, if I'm going to be doing this
Tuesday
today,
or Thursday.
yeah, okay, I'm going to bring my laptop. I'm going to bring my work stuff. I'm going to do this. I can go swing by and grab groceries on the way home. And it's like all of that was centered around if I'm going Tuesday or Thursday, doing all that stuff in Raleigh. Yeah, that was a long time. Yeah. But I'd say ironically, what's crazy though, is from all the transformations, I think probably two of my fondest transformations, obviously Marla. And I think that's probably visually and mentally probably one of our best transformations, bringing her into Scarlet Oak Farms.
Yeah. She was, that dog was going to die soon.
Yeah, and I think
she was so underweight.
I think I had a lot to learn there. I think I took, I had taken for granted, in a sense, what we had with Scarlet and just thought, we bring in a dog and take care of it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know the extent of hound dog issues, heartworms, and like how to do it, which is why you manage that for us. Mm-hmm. You're very detailed, for the most part, very detailed person, organized, and you can control all that. And that's a weight that I carry with me. Mm-hmm. And it hurts periodically. Just like you bringing up Scarlet, that one hurts for me. But like I said, ironically, the two dogs who we don't have right now, I think are probably the biggest transformation. Some of the biggest transformations, because Harley that we had at one point, who we don't have. I mean, not that we were going to lose her because she was, completely emaciated, but you could see her ribs.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You can see her ribs. You could also see her exploded stomach because the neighbors fed her trash.
Yeah.
But
where they told us she was pregnant, and she just pooped it all out.
Basically, it was like, oh, you ain't pregnant. So visually and honestly, she's an animal. She wanted to go after other animals. But other than that fact, that was a loving dog.
Oh, that was a sweet, sweet girl.
Human to dog. That was a sweet dog, but she just had your typical animal instincts, unfortunately. With 15 dogs and a youngin' running around.
And it was the cats.
Yeah. And cats. We couldn't risk any of that. It was probably one of the, I'll be honest with you, that was probably one of the hardest but easiest decisions that.
She went to a much better place than even we have.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah,
but that was, like I said, probably one of the hardest but easiest decisions that I've had to make. Because in the back of my head, all I could think was Marla.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you and I talked about that. Just I love what we do. Wouldn't change it for the world. And I see us growing and I see us doing more. But like even in the Story of Us video, you get those it animals.
Yeah. I believe in that. I think everybody does.
And I don't know what it is, but I feel like, and maybe it's one of those things like you don't know what you have until it's gone kind of thing sometimes, but I feel like the last two it animals that I had for me.
Homie, you only get one it animal.
You know what I mean, but like at least during the course of time while they're here, you love Mabel and you love Charlotte because you feel like sometimes they need you. Sometimes I don't feel like some of the animals need you.
My buddy Forrest needs me. Actually, he knows that I need him, and he knows when to come up. And he like bear hugs me.
I try, and because of that, recently Duke. I've been trying to gravitate. I don't want to take him for granted. I don't want to look back and be like, man, he loved to love on me, and then just be like, well, shoot, I was always pushing him away because I wanted to do something. I don't want to do the same thing that I think we all do periodically. We get caught up in the day to day, and there's a dog at my feet, and I wanted this, and I'm busy. So slow down sometimes, sniff the roses, and appreciate what you have right in front of you.
So, if everybody has their it dog, who do you think is the most like of all of the dogs at Scarlet Oak Farms? Who do you think gets everybody's attention?
Ladybird.
Yes, Ladybird, our blue tick. Yes, everybody loves that, or Duke.
Yeah.
And Willie, when they come and visit when they actually come and visit the doghouse. I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards Willie. Susan loves Willie. You love Willie.
I love Willie.
Not that we don't love all of them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's almost like he's in your face.
But he's so sweet though. He's like.
Yeah, and it's not like an 80-pound
like
all
Eddie,
over you. Eddie or Forrest or JoJo. It's like they can't control themselves. Forrest is like a real quick, or Willie, like a real quick, hey, will you love on me?
I'm here.
By the way.
Don't forget me.
Yeah, those three for sure. I think people gravitate towards it. Ladybird.
That and Daisy and her like ticking the spots on her.
Daisy's beautiful to me. She's a horrible car rider.
Let me talk. Okay, you think horrible car ride? Who did I have? Who did I have? Oh my gosh, I've had like
Rosa
5 this
Parker.
week. No.
Rose Parker, Mabel.
Who did I do before Mabel? Somebody jumped all the way from the back, and I told you made their way all the way to the front seat.
Charlie? Because you had to take Charlie for the
spots.
I feel like that's what you said.
Yeah. It was Charlie. Charlie, all the way from the back of the car, over the seat, with the car seat, to the middle, then tried to get in the front seat, and I finally was like, no.
Daisy does the same thing.
I know, but Daisy will push and try to get in your lap.
Yeah.
When I had to stop the truck, I don't know if you saw me right before I pulled off our road. I had put Mabel in the front seat of my truck with me because she normally rides good in the car, but I guess she was so freaked out about leaving and not being in the car or not being in the house and being in a car, that she was trying to scoot. I'm driving in the driver's seat behind me like this and driving on the bypass at 70 miles an hour. I was like, this isn't going to be safe. So right before I got off of our road, I had to put Mabel in the back seat of the truck, and she rode great there. I think she was more comfortable there because I had the stroller back there kind of blocking. But yeah, now she was able to ride up front on the way home with me, and but yeah, she was trying to get behind my back, so I was like, let me, before I'm going 70 miles an hour and she does this and I have to pull off on the road
I'm glad you think like that now, because that used to scare me with just you and Scarlet.
Yeah.
It's almost like you thought it was cool. Like, I got a dog in the front seat. Well, what if she jumps in? So I'm glad you actually did that.
But speaking of Scarlet riding with me, Rose, So Rose was nervous going to the vet, but once she realized, I wasn't leaving her there and she was going to get the car back, come back with me. She rode great in the front seat of the truck with me.
On the way home.
Yeah, but she did the whole thing like Scarlet, like if you touched her, she did the whole.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, my Scotty. Scarlet isn't in every one of those dogs somehow, some way. Yeah. It was sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something.
Brought back old memories for sure.
I know there's periodically, not that it's fair, but I think it helps. You don't want to forget your dogs. You don't want to forget nobody. So I definitely think that that's the perk when stuff like that happens. Is it's like they're still here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Obviously, they can't train these dogs like Scarlet did, but when Charlie does the same thing, it's almost like you saw that. You saw when Scotty did that. So and it's crazy because Charlie didn't used to always do that.
No, that's what I mean.
So I think sometimes it takes, even if maybe they weren't going to do it on their own, maybe she did see that, not 100% sure. But it's like they find themselves in about 1 to 2 years, even though there's that 3 day, 3 week, 3 month thing. But,
or I think sometimes it just takes that long for them to realize, like, I'm not going anywhere. They're not going, they love me, they respect me, they take care of me, I have a good life here. This is my home.
By the way, I want something.
Give me some more love.
Yeah.
Give me that rubbing. Give me that love.
So what else, Jordan? What else is going on? What else do you want to talk about? We've got Halloween just finished.
Yeah.
Need to keep doing our segments.
Okay.
I think that really worked and at least engaged people. People love us. Maybe not like Kardashian scale, but we got a following. People love engaging with us. I honestly,
it's pretty cool it's fun to share our story, and it's fun to share the dogs. Not everybody can come out here. They just don't live around here, so they can't actually physically interact with them. But, just sharing their story and what we're doing, and it's a lot of fun.
I think we sometimes maybe not take it for granted, but when we get the engagement and people liking, and we do the comments and all those things on social media, it's almost like at a distance, so you forget those are real people. So it's almost like if I was standing in a classroom and I was like, all right, wet food or dry food, those people just said something, and I remember that now, and it kind of came into light because we were doing turds. We went to go pick up a dog or something, and I can't remember where it was from. But they were like, yeah, I follow along, and I love to watch the stories, and I love to do what you're doing. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Really? All right, so you're following? Oh, that's awesome. And to see like face to face, like you're one of the people who's following along. What do you think? That's cool. And it's like one of your customers or one of your fans or something like that. Those fans are also on social media. And like I said, I don't think that we take it for granted, or, social media influencers take it for granted. It's like maybe you just sometimes forget that it's just a new way of communicating.
Sorry, you're not boring me. The time change is killing me.
Sorry, you're not boring. I'm just tired.
I'm just tired.
I appreciate you being honest.
Hey.
But yeah, we got Thanksgiving coming up, so we'll do.
Yeah, I'm trying to I need to get better at. Oh well, I've done a couple grants, so I'm waiting to hear back from those. So that would be fun. But I need to get back on our newsletter train. I've just been so busy. Trying to get, quite literally, I had a vet appointment every single day last week. So, that takes a lot of scheduling. That takes a lot of, what's the word? Not maintenance, but preparation to do all that. And we got a few more this week to knock out. But yeah, that was good. the Briley's farm was fun. I would love for us to find more opportunities to network in the community and set up a booth and be able to spread our message and mission and, you know, sell our merchandise. I ordered some vinyl stickers, like car stickers that are supposed to come in this week to be able to,
that, honestly.
yeah, to be able to raise money for the organization. So, and then I think people love, you know, car stickers, and other than you, you're like the one person in the world that hates a car sticker.
But like I said, I'm so anti-car sticker, but I like these because it's going to be, I'm trying to promote our product.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I actually do like it because it's almost like the PNG style. You know, all you see is the logo, and it'll be black almost. It'll almost be like black on black.
Yeah.
And I like that.
So we
kind
did.
of,
Yeah. So I ordered the black, and then I did the white, which I think will be nice. Which I feel like a lot of people are gonna like. You know, like if they put it on their car window.
Your car window.
You'll want the white because your window's black.
Most people, not this guy.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And then I think we finalized the donor recognition wall. So we just need to do a few things, and that's actually going to be very inexpensive. I think you and I can do most of that.
That'll be, and that's been something we've been needing to do, wanting to do.
Yeah.
Of course, like all of this stuff.
Yeah. And then hopefully by the end of the year we can wrap up the odds and end little projects that we need to wrap up.
We need to send out the fourth quarter donation reminders.
Yep. So there's still things to do, but
thank you notes for the fundraiser.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a computer day in your future.
Administrative
work. Like a Saturday or a Sunday or an afternoon.
Yeah.
You can either go to your dad's or, I mean, if you want to, go to campus. Backspace.
Oh.
You legit just messed up like 10 words. But yeah, so give you some quality time away from people to knock out all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it sucks even at the end of the night here. Describe to the folk. Because we know I'm the morning and you're the night, and we talked about it. What sucks is, even if you are a night owl, and you're not even really like a night owl.
I'm like a midday person. That's my prime time.
But, you know, with Graylin going to bed at 8, that might give you a 2-3 hour window, and that's you're still tired.
Yeah.
And you're coming down the downslope.
I mean, that's like
that energy train.
What last night I was applying for another grant, and so you know
I know you were struggling to complete that.
Yeah, but I mean, it needed to be done, but. You know, what did I look at you at like 7 o'clock last night? And I was yawning. I was like, I'm exhausted. Yeah, well, don't forget you have to fill out this grant. And I'm like, oh, crud. So she goes down, you put her down, and then I like hop online and I'm like, all right, let's do this. I actually think, not to toot my own horn, but I was pretty proud of this one. I feel like I don't know, the words were just coming to me. I was flowing, and so.
Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
But I think you need one of those.
I need a midday, my prime time
midday administrative day.
Yeah.
The only hard part about going to your dad's and doing it is they need to know.
Yeah, so they don't bother me.
Yeah, and that's worked for me. I think we'll be able to do that for you. If I shut the door, they don't bother me. So, you know, you can probably just be like, hey, look, I know I'm here. Corey's got Gray at the house. Leave me alone. I got to do some stuff upstairs.
Yeah.
They'll let you do it.
That's weird.
But yeah, Thanksgiving is coming up, I guess.
That'll probably be the only weekend in November that we don't hold a tour, just because we'll probably be celebrating with our family. So that will probably be the only Saturday that we don't open up.
So everybody be on the lookout for segments, tours. So you were saying you're going to do...
Oh, I wonder if I can add like a calendar online, and you could like book online. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, and don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I know, but
because I think on the chamber, we had to do like click here for a link and have access to like the calendar of events.
Okay, that's
going
smart.
on. So maybe
or
you could
even
do
if I could
like
just,
that.
or if nothing else, if that gets too complicated, if I can just put a calendar with events on there and like a tour's already booked for the state, so people could kind of look in advance to see.
Yeah,
so
you just have to be very diligent.
I need like a task list to be writing this stuff down.
Well, our phones are recording, unfortunately. I was going to say, you could just be like, hop on your phone and reminder list all the stuff we got to do. Or we could watch our own episode and go back and be like, I said I was going to do this. Hold myself accountable. So, but yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. We'll be back at it. What, we do this every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. And then I try to do, if you want to hop on, you can, but I'll try to do still those solos.
Okay.
In the middle. Don't know what I talk about. You kind of do that old school Will Ferrell and just, what I say? Just black out and talk about random stuff.
Yeah.
That's my MO.
Okay, cool. Well, this was fun.
All right.